goal in mind. Pretty much always offer Q&A. You can ask me anything. I do tend to answer questions about abuse since most of my content has been about abuse for the last year, which is crazy. Not quite a year. But I'm happy to talk about anything. I do like it when people ask me random questions. That happens once in a while, which I enjoy because I don't always like talking about abuse. So I've loved your travel pics with your son. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm already starting to think about where we're going to go next summer. And hopefully we get to do a longer trip than last time if I can get my finances lined up to do that. And if my son's dad is on board with that, which it seems like he is, we kind of had to compromise on a few things to get that happening. But we'll see. Oh, random questions, random facts. I don't know. Yeah, sure. What was your favorite part of today? Today was one of those like really long days. I actually worked from home. And it was, hi Facebook. It was a really long work day. It was a longer work day for me than usual. And my son was home with me, which makes it really hard because I have to like go and check on him and then come back, make sure he's okay, come back. And just like mentally, I was exhausted. So we just like after I finished work, we ran some errands and then we went to the beach. But it was a really short beach visit. Hi, Lindsay, by the way, I'm a victim of domestic violence. Hello, I see you, and thank you for joining this live, and I'm glad that you found me, and I hope that you find some comfort in what I have to offer. First time here, but heard random questions. What's your favorite cookie? Chocolate chip. In fact, today I was really craving chocolate chip cookies, so I went and got some cookie dough, and I just ate the cookie dough, so... Here's one story. Women's reign of little power over men's mental is finally gone. I don't know what that says. So yeah, second cats question marks. Hi, Facebook, YouTube. If you're here, I'm sorry that I'm not looking at you. I have to charge my phone right now. My phone's over there. But I will, if you comment, I will pay attention to you as well. And typically what I do when I am live is offer the chance for people to ask me pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be abuse related. Quite often people do ask me questions about abuse because that's what I've been sharing about. Especially on if you're here on Facebook and Instagram or YouTube, that's pretty much all you know about me. So yeah, feel free to ask me anything and I will bring it up. Kat, do what you will with that one. Yeah, it seems like we might have some trolls in here tonight, but the usual. I haven't done like a night live in a while. Dang girl, I take you to Target and Hobby Lobby anytime you want to go. Well, wrong person because I actually don't like stuff in the house. So pretty much I spend a lot of my time just like getting rid of stuff. So yeah, I don't like to buy random stuff. Have you been dating? No, I don't feel ready to date and I don't feel, yeah, no. Hey, Lindsay, I will see you in Austin. Awesome. I'm super excited. Did you already book your tickets? I just had a vibe, so bye-bye. Yeah, I trust you. I trust your vibes. That's why you're here. That's why you're with me. I live there. Oh, awesome. Okay, but even though you live there, did you get tickets? Because if you want to come to the meet and greet, I think the meet and greet is free. Okay, one-on-one. With me or with someone else? You don't have to say with me. That's okay. I'm not the only person who can offer valuable content to people. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not like possessive and, oh, thank you. Oh, give that back. I like that look. Yes, ma'am. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. How often do you go live? Not very often. I've been trying to make more effort to go live and to be accessible to people because I want y'all to have help with your situations that you're in or that you were in. And I also want to just be here to like talk about whatever. It doesn't have to be abuse related, but that way you get to know me as a person and you know who if you're consuming my content, I really want you to know like more about me than just like these 10-second videos or these 60-second videos. So that's why I'm here. Obviously, a lot of people go live for different reasons, but um, I don't really have a consistent live schedule because I'm home with my son a lot. So right now, I just put him to bed. And I wasn't quite ready to go to bed. So I was like, I'll pop on here, I'll hang out with people, see how everyone's doing, answer questions. Um, but it is very hard for me to find a consistent schedule to go live. So I apologize for that. And I mean, it's interesting because I usually have I have some like regulars, but I get different people who come in because you don't really know when you're going to see me. So I'm really sorry that I don't have a better answer for you. But hello, I just found your page recently. I'm a narcissistic abuse survivor. Are you safe? I am safe. Yes, thank you for asking. And I just want to say welcome to my page. Facebook has been blowing up lately, which is crazy. And it's a whole new world for me because my main platform is, I would say my main platform is Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram, but of course I post a lot on TikTok as well. I would say Instagram is like my quote favorite slash best community. But if you're on Facebook, you're here, you're pretty new. You probably don't know a lot about me because it's pretty much just like reels about abuse and things like that. Um, so absolutely, you are welcome here. And I see all 7 of you over there. So feel free to ask me anything. Getting some questions on TikTok here. If someone is a narcissist and you stop responding to them, will they still try to affect you? At what point do they give up when you don't respond? I have 2 answers to that. One, yes. If you stop responding to them, but you don't block them, they still have access to you. They probably know that they have access to you because on certain things, like they can see that you read it or they can see that you answered it or like that you opened it, things like that. Like if it's an Instagram message, they can see that you read it. If you have your read receipts on your iPhone, they can see that you read it. I am very tired. Also, I'm going to get some water. So if they know that their messages are still getting through to you, I apologize. I'm a human. I need some water. They will probably continue to contact you. On the other um, end of the spectrum, they may completely drop you. They may, what we call discard you. They may do a reverse discard, which means they go completely silent with the hopes that you'll reach out. Like you'll be like, why did they stop contacting me? Do they have another partner? Oh my God, did they replace me? Do they have someone better? Are they treating that person nice? Or, oh my God, are they treating that person? Are they abusing that person? I need to know. I need to know what's going on. And then you kind of panic, reach out. And then at that point, because you reached out, they can treat you however they want to. So there's no cut and dry answer with that. They either continue to bother you if they feel like they can still get supply from you, or they do a reverse discard and wait for you to reach out. Or if you're a lost cause like me, they completely will not, they'll stop responding to you. Hey there. Okay, hold on, sorry. Did you start to slowly see red flags with your abusive ex, or did it go from great to bad overnight? It was a long, slow, like I saw the red flags for a long time, but I was convincing myself that they were pink. And my abuser was also convincing me that they were not red flags. So it would be things like, well, you're always dwelling on the bad things. Why can't you see, like, we're doing so great, things aren't as bad. Like, I'm doing better, you're doing better, we're doing better. And it was just like this brainwashing, gaslighting. And then I would gaslight myself and I would make excuses, and I would ignore them and I would all of this stuff. So the red flags were there from probably the second day. Like if I really think about it, I was noticing things very early on, but yeah, I have no excuse for myself. And it's funny because if it was another survivor, I would be like, you had no idea, you did not see this coming, it's not your fault, blah, blah, blah. But with me, I'm like, what? But I will say this, when my abuser and I first started hanging out, I was at like a rock bottom low in my life. And so it makes sense that I would have been like, I don't know. I don't think that's red. I'll just bleach it. Thank you. I'm glad you're safe, but I was responding to a woman in the chat. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. That makes sense. I can't tell. I'm still learning how to use StreamYard. All right. What do you suggest I do if I can't afford to move out and live with someone who's a narcissist? Reach back into your archives of people. I know a lot of us have been extremely isolated when we've been with abusive people and don't feel like we have a lot of people we can lean on. Hi, Brandy, welcome in. I chose my mom. I went to my mom, and then I ended up staying with someone who I had never met before, but kind of like was like, hey, let me stop by and visit. I mean, we both were like, yeah, let's hang out. I went there for like a week, and I ended up reaching out to my friends in Spain who I hadn't seen for about 5 years, and told them what was going on. And I had fully planned on getting an Airbnb, but I was like, will you guys be around? I would love to see you. And one of them was like, hey, my brother has a place he's not using. Come stay as long as you want. Obviously, it was like within reason. Ended up staying there for 2 weeks for free, which was very, very helpful. And my point is, like, obviously, that's not going to work out for everyone, but like, you never know. Like, that friend of mine in Spain, who I have not seen in 5 years, who had no idea that I was in an abusive relationship, who I just was like, hey, I'm going through a breakup. It was actually really freaking horrible. I didn't even give that much information. And she was like, you sound like you need to escape. Here you go. So you just never know who's going to offer you a couch. And like, obviously, it has to be temporary. Like, we can't live with people forever. Like, I wasn't going to live with my mom forever, but I stayed with my mom for, I mean, I was gone for 3 months. So I stayed with her for several weeks, went to Europe for several weeks, stayed with people there, and then was back with my mom for several weeks before I came back. And then, if you're new here and you don't know me, I chose to live with my son's dad, who is not my partner. We live together because it's safe for me and my son. It's cheaper for both of us. There's multiple reasons. Yes, it comes with its like weirdness, but um, that is something that I never thought that I could do. I was like, if I leave this person, I'm going to either just be like struggling because it's so expensive to live here, or I'm going to have to move far away and I'm going to have to start over and blah, blah, blah. And like, there was this option here that I didn't think would be good because we were together, we were married, and we chose to not be together anymore. And I was like, there's no way I can't move back in with him. And guess what? I travel when he's home. He travels when I work when he's home. He works when I'm home. So you think you get to write your own story. Like I said, you never know. And like, yeah, some people think it's weird. Some people look at it and they're like, you guys are probably together, or how can you do that? I could never do that, blah, blah, blah. But like, you get to write your own story. And again, you never know who's going to be like, well, guess what? My roommate just moved out. And yeah, you can't stay here forever. You don't have any money, but like, you're safe here. Your abuser doesn't know where you're at. Come take like 3 weeks, take 6 weeks, take whatever. You never know. Okay, I just babbled. So let me catch up here. Hi, Anna. I wanted to bring you a good book, so I'll see you in Austin. Look forward to it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So he's still stalking me. I changed everything, but now I'm telling everyone that he used to hurt me physically and I'm out and open. I also filed a police report. Okay, that's good. Seriously, I hit up my friend I've had for 3 years from college, and he helped me to get a job that provided food and boarding. What a blessing. So that's the thing. Like, and a lot of times when we're in these abusive relationships, we convince ourselves that no one's going to be there for us. Like this friend from college, a lot of times it's going to be someone who's far removed from you and not the people in your close circle that you think are your friends. Because for me, the people that I was reaching out for help while I was in it, and would like come over and talk to me and have serious conversations and support me and be like, well, you just got to keep trying. Like, they really love you. They really love Adler. Like, those people who were so supportive of me while I was in it are the ones who turned their back on me when I publicly said I was being abused. And they would not have offered me a couch. They would not have offered me a house because they wanted to be quote unquote neutral, even though they weren't neutral when I was in it. Right. And so the people who are like the people who were my friends when I was with my abuser, I have no contact with whatsoever. Again, they wouldn't have helped me, but it's like those people who, and now that I'm 1 year single, there are more people who I've reached out to, who I've rekindled old friendships with. And I know for a fact that they would have let me come stay with them, even if it was temporary, or they would have maybe even sent me money or like, and I didn't need money, luckily. But like, you just never know. You just never know. Maybe someone's like, you know what? I just got $100 gift card from my work and I don't need it. Let me give this to you for gas to get to your mom's house that's 3 states over or whatever. I don't know. You never know. And I know it can be really lonely and embarrassing. Like I felt like a kid with my tail between my legs when I was not when I was going to my mom, but when I had to go to my kid's dad and be like, what are we doing here? I have to move out because of this failed abusive relationship that I started after you and that I thought that we could all get along and all that stuff. Now you kind of have to look out for me because we have a kid together. What are we going to do? And of course, he was like, obviously, um, but like it's embarrassing. I was ashamed. And he never shamed me. He was never like, you shouldn't have you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that, you should have known better. How did you not know that person was like, and he never said like, how did you have our kid around them? He was like, that must have been really confusing for you. So you just never know. My daughter's dad and I lived together for a few years after we broke up. So I get you. Thank you, Brandy, for saying that because yeah, again, it's just so foreign to a lot of people. And I'm not like saying that all of you are like judging me when I say that. I am very open and honest about that. But there are a lot of people who like one time I made a video about us going on vacation together. And we do that this weekend. We went to a ball game together because we want our son to be able to be like, Mama, Dada, look, instead of like, I'm only allowed to do things with one parent. Like, how cool is that? But someone was like, you're not a real lesbian because you still hang out with your ex-husband. And I was like, okay, all right. Okay. Good morning. Oh, hi, Liz. I don't know if you're still in here. I missed that comment. Welcome in. What if my boyfriend says gaslighting phrases, but he's unaware of mental health, etc., and have no ill intent? So thank you for asking. That's really important. So a lot of times, because of my content is focused on educating about what abuse can look like, I'm not able to also like, I guess I could put a disclaimer in every video that, it doesn't always mean abuse, but I've been trying to talk about this more because I think a lot of people are seeing now that more people are talking about abuse on social media and they're seeing this content and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm abusive, or oh my gosh, my partner's abusive, or oh my gosh, whatever. And yeah, there's a lot of abusive people out there and we have not been able to talk about this for so long. And a lot of abusers are protected, especially like wealthy, like straight white men, right? Anybody, like lots of people are protected, like for whatever reason, they're protected. People support abusive people and sort of like shun survivors who speak out. But the truth is that we are a society of hurt people, of parents who didn't know how to raise us, parents who didn't give us like coping skills and communication skills and all that stuff because they weren't given them from their parents. Like it was all just handed down. Whenever I meet someone who's like I know a couple people who are like, yeah, my mom would always like sit down, we'd talk about my feelings and all this stuff. I'm like, how did your mom know to do that? Because mine didn't. Um, and so there's a lot of us that, we get in these relationships and we like genuinely don't have bad intentions, but we don't know how to communicate. We have these, with poor communication. We have very high walls and like protective mechanisms and gaslighting and manipulation. Those are very, very common protection mechanisms. So like, I don't know, it's really hard for me to come up with like a example off the bat, but like I don't know. I can't think of one, but or like guilt tripping, like say I make plans with one of you and then I cancel because I can't, and one of you is like, well, it makes me feel so bad that blah blah blah. Like that's unintentional guilt tripping. Like you're trying to tell your feelings, and we weren't taught how to say it better. This is a really crappy example, but like it doesn't mean that person's abusive. It just means they have shitty communication skills. Or like a lot of people do have like neurodivergent folks, like we just can't communicate in a certain way, or we can't, like a lot of people are defending love bombing because they're like, well, I'm neurodivergent, I have this, I have that, and I can't. Well, so am I have ADHD and I've never love bombed anyone. And so like there's this fine line that I'm finding now with the comments on my content of relief. and I'm not happy. I had this one. This is my baby bird of paradise, and there were two of them in the pot, and this one has a broken leaf, and I'm not happy with it. So it's up there. It's isolated. I'm isolating it from its friends. I like your cup. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me to drink water. Thank you for answering and being so open. Yes, thanks for asking. One of the worst parts is the excuses we make for them and how hard it is to leave. Yes, 100%. Like you train yourself to make excuses for them because you're embarrassed. You don't want them to look bad because it makes you look bad. Like if you like look at the comments that people make, like you chose them. Well, you got into this. Well, you should have known better. Whatever. It's society shames us for being with them, and then we shame ourselves for being with them, and like we think we're making it up, and then they're telling us we're making it up. So you're stuck. You're protecting this person that's destroying you, and it's very, very hard to get out. I think it's so awesome that you guys were able to do that. My son's dad is the narcissist, and living with him could never happen. No, it can't happen. And co-parenting with a narcissist is not possible. You have to do parallel parenting and like low contact, and hopefully have a really good support system, which a lot of survivors really don't. But yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I'm curious if you will ever reveal their at because I'm nosy. No. First of all, they're not a social media person. Second, I don't know their at because I blocked them a long time ago and I don't know if it's the same or different. And that is really nosy. And also, why? Why? Was your son directly affected by the narcissist? Yes. And I will never know how much. I will never know how badly he was affected. And I spend most of my days wondering what's normal for him as a 4-year-old, what's part of him growing up with his dad the way that he is, what's part of him growing up with me the way that I am, what's just his normal personality that would have been there anyway, and what's because of what happened with that person. I'll never know. But every like he'll do something or he'll have a struggle, and I'm like, is this because of that? And it's very hard. And obviously, I'm responsible for that. I'm the one who put him in that situation. Hey, Robbie, a lot of it is the love bombing is not genuine connection, it's mirroring to manipulate. Yes, absolutely. But for some reason, a lot of people are, and I was shocked because I posted the love bombing, like love bombing is abuse videos on Facebook, and it's not lesbians because the people on Facebook don't necessarily know I'm a lesbian. Like on TikTok, most people know that I am, and Instagram, and they're defending it. And I'm like, I hear you. Like you're like, oh, I have ADHD, and it's like the dopamine kick and all this. I'm like, I have ADHD too, but I have never love bombed someone. Like if I genuinely like you, like I like you, and I'm not trying to lure you into a relationship. It's I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Hi, Bernadine. How's it going? What advice would you give to someone whose partner was previously in an abusive relationship? Take it slow. I don't know how long you've been together, but take it slow. Be willing to take it slow. Uh, Try to be aware of their triggers. So, for example, y'all know I'm single. I'll be single for a long time. If you're nice to me, I'm going to probably cry. I will cry. So, again, I don't know how long you've been together, but just be so patient. Um, be willing to like listen, and if this person freaks out, has a trigger, like starts crying or gets upset with you or something, like try to like slow that brain down and be like, this probably isn't about me, this is something else. I can't really give that much advice because I have not started a relationship since I left, so I can't be like, well, my partner, this came up, so maybe look out for this. I don't know. Neurodivergent love outpouring is different. Yeah, but I don't know how to describe it. Like, I would like to make a response video to that, but I don't know how to describe it because I am diagnosed with ADHD and I have never done that. So I can't be like, oh, yeah, when I was pouring my love out, I did it this way, which is very different from the love bombing, which I received this way. So I don't know. You cut out. Yeah, I'm sorry that I cut out there. Hi, Amanda. Glad you got out. Good for you. I'm looking for a way out. Emotional abuse from a narcissist can be worse than physical. Yeah, I don't like to compare. I think it's all horrible, but one of the things that I will say is that, with physical abuse, a lot of times it's quote unquote easier to heal from because you e- like mentally you're like, okay, okay, they got really mad at me and they did this thing physically and that hurt and that was horrible and I understand why they did it. They were really mad. But with emotional abuse, it's like, why did they do that? How did they do that? How did that happen? What's happening? I don't understand. What is this? Is this abuse? I don't know. So yeah, this the scars from mental abuse can be much longer of a road versus like, I don't know, if it was literally just a person who just physically abused me, just like that's nothing, but never did one emotional abuse tactic. Like I feel like you'd be like, wow, okay, hopefully that never happens again. That was horrible. That person's hopefully in jail now. But like, yeah, emotional abuse is just a whole other beast. But again, that said, I try not to ever compare. And also you have to remember that there's financial abuse. There's coercion, there's all kinds of different abuse, and all of it is horrible. All of it is horrible. And most of the time, they come in clusters. Like you don't usually get just one or the other. I hate when people use "you're not a real lesbian" crap. I get that all the time. Yeah. If you don't know, before I started talking about abuse, that was like my whole platform was like validating late blooming queer people. That was before everyone started talking about it. This was like in 2020 when TikTok was first like really taking off and doing all this stuff. But yeah, it's people don't always. Not everyone wants to learn. Let's just put it that way. Not everyone wants to learn. Not everyone wants to be open. Not everyone wants to take like, if I come on here and make a video on TikTok and I'm like, you're not a real lesbian because you looked at a dude once, and then someone calls me out and they're like, well, actually, let me educate you on comp het. Let me educate you on this. Let me educate you on that. And some people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was a thing. Thanks for telling me. And a lot of people are like, whatever, you're not gay, And it's the same with abuse. It's like, hey, actually, U-hauling is really dangerous. And some people are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I may still make jokes about U-hauling, but from now on, I'll put a disclaimer on it. I've never seen anyone do that. But most people are like, don't call me out. Not everyone who U-hauls is dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, not everyone wants to learn. Not everyone wants to help other people because I would go out of my way to not make dangerous content like that, I think. Please feel free to tell me if I'm wrong. If I have made dangerous content, you're like, actually, I saw one time you made this thing and that felt like that could be harmful. Please tell me so I can fix it. But some people don't care. Like a lot of people are just like, hey, I've never been touched by this, so it's not my problem. Thanks for the likes. It really is. If you tell someone they're hurting you and they continue to do that, you got to wonder. Yep, for sure. I saw that. Something I see too much is victim blaming because they don't understand that sometimes people fall into a pattern of going from one abuser to another. Well, then it's your fault. You must obviously be doing something when in reality, trauma bonding is a real thing. Yes, and quite often we go to what we know. So we all know that, like, if our parents had like a crazy, toxic or abusive, or just like, maybe our mom was really, really, really closed off. So then we find a partner that's really closed off. And like, this is familiar, but it's like subconscious. We're not like, oh, good. I want to have a horrible relationship because you're never going to talk to me about anything important. Sign me up. It's just like, oh, this feels familiar. What is it about this person that's like really like mysterious and like luring me in? Hint, hint. That's what happened with me. I was like, oh my gosh, you're kind of closed off and mysterious. Like, how do I crack the code? Because I've been trying to crack the code to my mom my whole life. I think I got it. We're good now. But like 20 years of that, right? And then, yes, Becca, very much so. So if I come to you all right now and I say I have had 4 relationships which are heavily damaging to me, each of them were kind of abusive in their own way, then you look at me and you're like, well, then isn't the problem you? What's wrong with you? Something's wrong with you, right? Well, I mean, yeah, my trauma, but I didn't ask for that and I didn't give myself that trauma, and I wasn't saying I want that abusive person. I want that abusive person, right? But society sees it that way. And so victims are further made to feel horrible and abusers are always let off the hook. So it's never like, wow, 4 people. You have 4 relationships. I did not have 4 abusive relationships, but like 4 people ended up abusing you. You trusted each of those people enough to pursue a relationship with them. Like, what's wrong with those people? Like, what's causing all these people to have these tendencies? What's going on here? It's always like, what's wrong with you? Exactly. Love bombing includes future faking. Absolutely. Future faking typically happens very early on. It is part of the love bombing phase, and it's also part of breadcrumbing. So it can happen throughout the relationship. If, you know, one, when you first meet, my abuser was talking about a wedding early on, and I was like, I am never getting married again. I somehow was lucky enough to know that I would not marry them and that I didn't ever want to get married again. So I like talked them out of it. Like I would be like, I'm not getting married. I'm not doing that again. It's just a piece of paper. And they were like, okay, that's this person doesn't need this future faking, not this kind. And they moved on to other tactics. But also, once you're in it and you like, if you pull back, like, oh, this person hasn't given me affection in a week, you start to pull back. They're like, I'll go to therapy. Or you pull back and they're like, it's going to be better. Let's go on this trip together, whatever it is. And it's future faking. It's not really going to fix things. It's not really going to be the answer to all your problems. It's not real. They're not going to change. You're not going to magically be happy and healthy together, right? What's U-hauling? Yes, it's sort of a lesbian stereotype about lesbians moving in together super fast. Yeah, it's a stereotype, but it's also, I mean, it's real. There's a reason why it's there. A lot of people do that. Um, of course, it's not exclusive to lesbians because an abusive person who's love bombing you and trying to lure you into a relationship needs speed. So it's not just lesbians. Um, I have only been abused like this in a queer relationship, so I can't say when I moved in with my narcissistic male ex versus the other one. I can't like do a compare and contrast, but it is a very common stereotype and type, and it's also a joke. It's a source of a lot of jokes and things like that in the queer community. And my opinion is, which a lot of people don't like, that it's very dangerous, and I would rather not see it. So quite often when I see a lesbian pop up on my page, I'm like, nope. There are a few that I'm like, okay, I haven't seen anything from you. And I'm like, not the police of TikTok. Y'all do what you want to do. But like, I don't want to see it because it hurts me to think about that we're like setting other people up to possibly end up in abusive relationships. I appreciate your bravery in speaking publicly about your abuse. Please keep sharing. Thank you so much. It really keeps me going because there's days like y'all, some of the comments I get, and I don't really read a lot of the comments on Facebook because they come in so fast. And I just like all the comments and messages and things I get across platforms, I'm not able to like keep up with things, but they're horrible. And so I'm like, you know what? I might be done. I think I could be done. I think I could talk about other things, but pretty much every day I get multiple messages from people saying that it's been helpful. And I'm like, okay, we're still here. Does parental relationship have something to do with romantic relationships? That cost whatever. But yeah, so if you grew up with, I don't know, a certain kind of parent, um, yes. I don't know how else to answer that. U-hauling is super real. My first and third girlfriends forced me to U-haul. Never again. Yeah, and it is very forceful. It's very now or never. And so what they do is, and this happened with me, and I saw it happen with the girl after me because unfortunately I witnessed the love bombing happening in real time with the new girl, and I was just like, that's when I went into contact. I was like, this is crazy. Bye. Um, the tactic is, and my abuser goes for straight presenting women who are in very, very committed relationship with men. Because for them, it's this, I got to win this. I got to take this person from this man to validate my identity or myself or whatever. And so they come along, they love bomb you, they lure you in so that you're like, oh my gosh, this person is way better than my husband because I'm not in the best relationship right now. And I feel so seen. I'm on this pedestal. This is amazing. This is what I've been looking for my whole life, blah, blah, blah. And then they pull back and they say, leave now or I'm done. Leave now, come and be with me right now. This is your chance because I can't do this whole thing. You're married or you're really in a serious relationship or whatever. I'm out. You panic, you leave, they got you. You move in with them, you sign a lease, you're done, or whatever. And that's how it works. Whether you're in a relationship or not, it's like, you've got to come with me right now because we got to commit, or else how do I know you really like me? One of the examples I give, and this is an isolation tactic, but 2 days after the first time I hung out with my abuser, a friend asked if they could come over. And my abuser punished me by leaving the park where we all were without saying a word, just walked away and disappeared, didn't text me, didn't say anything. So I had to reach out to them. I had to ask for forgiveness. I had to like grovel and say, no, I really do want to see you. They asked to come over. I didn't want to be rude. Obviously, like, it's normal to hang out with friends. I had to grovel, invite them to come over and hang out. But that's that speed. Like, they said, I thought we were on the same page. I thought we both wanted to see each other. And it's like, well, I can see other people too. So it's that from right out the gate, you're in a panicked state. You're walking on eggshells like, crap, how do I prove to you that I like you? Because you're constantly challenging me and you're constantly saying that I must not like you the way you like me. And they get you. And it's really scary. And that's why I do make a lot of content talking about slow down, set boundaries, because if you try to set a boundary with an abusive person, they're going to challenge you. Are you getting ready to box? No, but I do box. So I was getting really excited. My gloves are right over there. But yeah, you have to set boundaries, and you will know, because that person most likely will get upset by your boundary and they'll say, well, I thought we were on the same page. Well, I thought you wanted to spend time with me. I guess I like you more than you like me. Whereas like a healthy, secure person, even if they do want to spend time with you, they maybe I want to see you once a week and you want to see me 3 times a week. And I say, once is all I can do right now. And they're like, I'm a little bummed, but I can't wait to see you next Friday. Not, well, I guess you don't like me then, well, my ex-girlfriend's texting me and she wants to hang out with me, whatever it is. I do get pretty amped up when I talk about this stuff. So you might see me doing boxer stance again. So yeah. U-hauling is usually a red flag and it's typically not a good sign. It's not always the case, but all 3 abusive relationships I was involved U-hauling. And what's crazy is when I tell people they were women, they can't believe it. Yup. And all 3 involved keeping me away from family and friends and isolating me. Yup. Thanks for sharing that, Becca. I really appreciate that. I remember him saying you don't have friends and family in a relationship. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Once you're with me, it's just us. We're in this together. It's us against the world. Your family doesn't like me. Your friends are jealous of us. It's just me and you. Hi. Yeah, it starts a huge fight. Thanks for the butterflies. Girlfriend number 1 paid the fee to move out of her apartment without telling me and was like, I have to move in with you now. Girlfriend number 3 got kicked out and just forced herself into my place. No. Every time y'all share stuff with me, and I mean, I don't see all of it because, like I said, I get a lot of messages. But I always say shocked, not shocked, because I'm always like blown away by how wild this behavior is, and also not surprised at all because I've studied it, because I've lived it. It's wild. And yeah, me and you versus the world, baby. Yep, it's just me and you. Everyone else is against us. Your story is interesting and helpful. Thank you. I wish it wasn't interesting. I wish I had a really boring story to tell you all and that you all just logged off because you're like, I don't care what this lady's just talking about. The bag of wine corks that are here for some, I don't know why these are here. And you talk fast, which I like. Yeah, I do talk fast. When I get excited, I talk a mile a minute, which probably isn't that good. But here we go. I do get pretty amped up when we talk about this stuff because it's just, I am passionate about it. You can see I'm passionate about it because I really, really, really don't want anyone else to end up in the boat that I was in. At the same time, I can't protect everyone, and a lot of people don't want to hear it. So all I can do is be here and spread awareness and hope that people see it and share with other people, and at least have the awareness that, like, when if they start a new relationship and those red flags start coming up, that they slow it down, and then they see that person kick back at the boundary they set, and they ghost, and they save themselves from 2.5 years or 10 years or 5 years or whatever of horrendous abuse. Have you seen the narcology unscripted videos on YouTube? No. To be honest, I don't really watch a lot of content on any platform. I make content, but I try not to spend a lot of time on social media just like surfing, or you know what? When I do have time to watch something, I'm watching something historic. I did watch TV today, and I was watching stuff about the royal family, but like historic, not current. So yeah, I'm kind of a nerd. And I like to learn, or sometimes I'll like listen to content in Spanish or something to like keep my language going, but it's not stuff that a lot of people talk about. Yeah, I mean, it's getting more common. It's getting more common, but uh yeah, I don't want to say more. You don't scroll for 10 hours a day like I do. I don't. Netflix. I saw that. What did you see on Netflix? How long have I been here? 41 minutes. Okay. Yeah, this has been fun. I'm glad I came on here. Well, that's nice. If I get my son to bed early enough, I can go live. Usually I don't because I'm slow, and by the time I get him in bed, I'm ready to go to bed. Or ready to just like lay there, maybe read for a little bit. I have my book right here. Um, but yeah. I will say this. When I first left, I listened to every morning, like I woke up, or every day in the car, I would listen to a podcast from Mental Healness. His podcast is called The Narcissist Code, and it helped me. It was like my breakfast of champions. Like it helped me keep that mindset. It helped me continue to be motivated to keep learning about narcissism. Uh, and as my healing progressed, I didn't need that anymore. And so now I continue to make content based on both my experience and what I have learned in my education. Because if you don't know this, I'm a trauma recovery coach. I just did a 6-month course um, to become a trauma recovery coach. I am not yet certified, so I don't say that yet because I'm not a liar. I'm waiting for that email to say that my portfolio was approved, and it's taking forever. But hopefully it'll be here soon so that I can come on and say, hi, I'm Lindsay. If you don't know me, I'm a certified trauma recovery coach. And I'll be offering one-on-one coaching. So if that's something that you want to do, reach out to me, send me a message. A hand got stuck in my hair. That's a bad sign. um, but so I make my content, and then the rest of the time that I spend when I do have time to consume content, it's me gaining knowledge of whatever random nerdy stuff I like to do. Like I said, historical things and languages. That's what I like. So yeah. Which I'm glad that came up because I feel like a lot of people see the fact that I'm still talking about this and take it that I'm like obsessed with my abuser, or I'm obsessed with my abuse, or I'm like in victim mode, when really the only time I really think about it, unless something comes up, and it comes up and I'll text Kat or I'll text a friend and be like, wow, I just remember this. And I think I now understand what was happening because I have PTSD, and a lot of you probably have PTSD. And hope you have a great night. I gotta get to bed. Okay, good night. Thanks for hanging out. And so things do pop up. Like we have these little moments, but like my life, in a grand scheme of things, the amount of time that I spend thinking about my abuser, my abuser is very, very little. I think about it because I want to put more out into the world for all of you, and I want to help all of you. And at the very least, like if I ever get sick of talking about this, hopefully I'll be handing it off to someone else who can continue to pass it on, because this is really important. And we need voices. We need real, authentic voices of people who are in it for the right reasons, people who are in it to give back, people who are in it to help out, and not people who are in it to do a smear campaign against the person that they broke up with or whatever. We need more of that. We really do. So, all right, I'm a little bit behind here. Good evening. What are you reading? Okay, so two people asked me what I'm reading. I went to the library. I'm trying not to own a lot of possessions. So I'm getting rid of things and I'm not buying things, but I still like reading. And I was like, make sure I'm safe here because I don't know y'all. It's called Mika in Real Life. And I just saw it on the shelf and I was kind of like, for some reason, drawn to the cover. And it's about a mom who gives her baby up for adoption. And then the little girl's, she's kind of grown now, and she finds her mother. And I thought that was an interesting storyline, because a lot of the things I read are like nonfiction, like really thick, heavy, like again, history, trauma. I had to read a lot of books for my trauma recovery coaching course. Goodness. And sometimes I just need like a little something. The last full book that I read was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I did really enjoy it. There were like some frustrating moments, but it was good. I don't know if any of y'all read that, but I'm glad you came on. Thank you. What album would you say you've listened to beginning to end most often in your life? Anything from Selena, and I'm talking Selena, not Selena Gomez. Give me a second. Oh no, where'd they go? Where did they go? Where did they go? Where did they go? Where'd my records go? So this is the weird thing about living with someone else who, again, is like not your partner, so you're not communicating a lot, is that sometimes one of us moves something. Like I'll decide like this plant goes here now, or he'll decide this goes there now. And I don't know, because we don't really talk that much. So I don't know where my records are, but I was going to show you, because Selena Quintanilla, the original Selena, I've been listening to her music since like 1992, because I'm old. And I still listen to her music a lot. Not the English music, because I don't think it's as good. I'm sorry, Selena. She's my favorite though. I'm also first responder, EMS, and fire school. Is there anything that I should look out for on calls? I was just talking about this the other day, and how important it is for first responders to have training on this. And it is a dream of mine to like travel around and educate first responders on signs to look for if they're called out to a DV situation. My heart is pounding right now. I do see some of these comments on Facebook, and I'm going to answer this one and then I'll circle back. I'm not ignoring you. Okay, so watch the video if you haven't. Reminds me of Gabby Petito, thank you. Of Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie getting pulled over by the Moab police. Watch it. When that happened, when Gabby was missing and that video surfaced and people were talking about it, I was at my mom's house. I'm not the only person who saw this. I'm not the one who was like, this is what happened. Okay. A lot of people, a lot of survivors and experts and everyone saw that video and said, oh no, she is in grave danger. That person is dangerous. That man is dangerous, because you can see a panicked victim looking unstable. She was crying the whole time. She was panicked. She was confused. She wasn't sure what happened. She was scared. She was protecting her abuser. Did you hit him? Yeah, she said something like, yeah, I think I scratched him or something. I don't know. It's been a year. It's been a year since that video was out. And he's, of course, she has OCD and she gets like this. And he's calm and he's respectful to the police officers. So they look at this and they say, well, he's calm. She's batshit crazy. Let's give him a nice night in a hotel somewhere and she can just F off, because she's lucky we didn't arrest her ass. Well, he had taken her keys, her phone, her van, and kept her outside of it. This is everything she owns and everything she knows, and he's the only person she has. in this world. She can't call her mom, text her mom. She can't call a friend because he has her phone. That's reactive abuse, which I do hate that word, where she was like, give me my shit. I'm going to lurch in here and try to do something to change the power imbalance that we have. I need my stuff. I'm alone here. Yes, I agree, Marie. I agree with you. When you live it, you know it. Yes, and I agree with the next thing you said. So watch out for that. Watch out for one person who is eerily calm. So you imagine if two people are toxic and they both have their issues and they're arguing, but there is not a power imbalance because they're having a moment and they get riled up. I don't even know if that's a real thing because I feel like if the police come, there's probably an abuser involved, not two people who are just kind of toxic and arguing. Maybe if you're arguing really loud and the neighbors come, they're both going to be frazzled. They're both going to be like, I don't know how we got to this point. We were arguing. We're both fine. They're both going to be frazzled. The cops are at our house right now. What's going on here? But if you show up and there's an abuser and they're using this tactic of this person's crazy, this one's going to be still freaking out and this one's going to be calm. And that is the most important thing that you have to look out for. Also look out for if this person is protecting this person. If the one who looks crazy is protecting the calm person, look out. I want to circle back and say thank you so much for asking that. Like, honestly, it took me a second. Like, when I went down on the ground, that's because I never thought anyone would ask me that. And because I'm so passionate about that. And I think back to if an officer had come and seen what was going on at different times in my life and understood it, what a difference that would have made for me. And what a difference it would have made had my abuser been held accountable and then maybe not be running around free, probably doing the same thing to other people. Like, that is everything. So thank you for asking. Do you think it's possible to be friends with an ex-narcissist if enough time has passed 7 to 8 years? I wouldn't recommend it at all. How can I fall in love with studying? What are you studying? That's an interesting question. I really want to make myself financially stable by becoming a PA. I don't know what a PA is. I would say being too calm is a red flag in a DV situation. Yes. We don't have a lot of EDU unless it's physical. Yeah, I figured. I wish I could talk to police officers one-on-one, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. My aunt's in the hospital with, what is CU? Y'all are using a lot of stuff and words that I don't know. Could you imagine if there was a DV registry, like the other kind of registry that already exists? Yes, I can imagine. And I wish that was a thing. Because, like, can you imagine, like, you meet someone and then you just look them up and you're like, oh, crap. Three times they were registered on this, or one time they were registered on this. Like, I'm going to block them right now. And thank goodness that they don't have my address. But unfortunately, I think we're a very, very long way away from that because of the way that there's not, like, society does not have a collective understanding of abuse and what abuse is and what to do with it. Yes, another thing is if the person is looking at the partner before responding to any questions. Thank you for adding that, Becca. If you see that it's a telltale sign that they are a victim of abuse of some kind, also making excuses for the other person's behavior a little too well. Well, yeah, they said, the police ask, well, what started the fight? Well, I was upset about the van being messy. Look. You're right. Very right. My ex almost. I don't think I'm going to say that one right now because I know that there's someone in the life who will be triggered by that, Marie. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. And also, I want to tell you that I was personally, not directly, but my family had a situation like that before I was even born, and the trauma is handed down, and that's a horrible thing. So thank you for sharing that. That would be okay. Hold on. My aunt has CPTSD, severe anxiety, and looks like she's dying. How can I help her? I don't know enough about the situation. I don't know what caused it. I don't know what's not like what caused it, but like what is in her life right now that because I want to say that there's something in her life right now that is keeping her in that state or the if it was if the abuse was so chronic or maybe a massive one-time thing that was so severe and so severe is different for everybody. We could both live the same thing and for me it could be so severe and for you you're like it's mild medication helps me I'm getting by but I'm like I can't cope at all, right? Because it's different for everybody. But if it could be that there's something that's still contributing to that in her and keeping her in that state and um I don't know, like is there a person around who's continuing to contribute to the CPTSD? Is she receiving help? Does she have like mental health resources? Does she have people around her who are looking out for her? I want to press charges, but I can't. I know that's graphic and I apologize. I don't cover for him though. That's okay. I just didn't want to share it out loud just because again, I know that there's someone in here who will be pretty upset by that. But yeah, no, you're totally fine. PTSD makes you think about the trauma constantly. So I bet it's nice to have a space to talk about it. Social media advice helps a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really thankful. I do think that having this platform has helped me heal a lot. Like I said, now I'm at a point where I'm like, sometimes I feel like I don't want to talk about me, like my stuff specifically, although sometimes it's important when you ask me questions like how did I see the red flags or things like that. Um, talking about like answering questions like does help. So that would be awesome to have a registry. My dad was a narcissist. He was with many, many people. Yeah. PA is physician's assistant. Oh, awesome. What's stopping a registry from being created? I think that people don't really think it's that important. Um, it's not like it's not like you see survivors talking about it, but you don't see like, well, I guess maybe we need to get that started. Like writing automated, but the problem is that someone who's willing to report you, and the people that you report it to have to believe you. Whereas, a lot of people won't report their abuser because they're scared. Um, because 10 million reasons. So there's a lot of people like with my abuser, several exes just quietly went away. Like, get away from me, never talk to me again, but I'm gonna quietly get away and I'm never gonna tell anyone. Um, and then I'm not blaming their exes for that it happened to me, but it's still happening with other people, surely, or it will happen again with other people, surely, because that person's just walking around free because none of us have ever been like, you just physically assaulted me. I'm going to the police and the police will believe me. And that's another thing. And that's also a very real problem with abuse in queer relationships is that we don't feel like it's going to be taken seriously. I mean, even in straight relationships, it's not taken seriously because, again, look what happened with Gabby Petito. And she would be here today if the police had been trained and able to see what was happening and brought her somewhere safe. But also, Gabby had free will. And if the police had said, not she had free will, she was in a trauma bond and she had free will based on like her abusers pulling the strings for her free will. So she really didn't have free will. But in terms of the police, they could have said, we see what's going on here. Can we save you? And she would have been probably like, no, I think I'm okay. She probably wouldn't have been able to admit what was going on because she probably didn't really fully understand what was going on. I've been there. A lot of you have been there. Her family is suing the police, and they absolutely should. Um, but that's the sad thing is that she would have protected her abuser had the police even known. So that's where it gets really sticky, y'all. Is that again, the police don't understand. And even if they do, most likely this sweet girl would have, and I hope you all know that not for 1 second am I putting this on Gabby. Hell no. But she probably would have been like, I don't think he'll do that again. I believe him. I trust him. I've made all these excuses for him because this is where I'm at. And I did the same thing because that's how it goes. It's so awful when you look into it. She used to do lives and people would ask her why she doesn't leave him, and she would say, because I love him. Are you serious? I didn't know about that. Was there alcohol or drug abuse involved in your experience? On My abuser drank a lot and also did like smoke marijuana and things like that, and it did alter their behavior. Um, I wouldn't say that they were like an alcoholic. Well, probably like a high. I don't know how to say it. What's it called when you're like you drink pretty much every day, but you're not like you don't drink all like you're. I don't know. Oh, I learned about this. I learned about this in my trauma recovery course. Like you depend on alcohol to get by, but you're not like a full blown alcoholic. So yeah, I would say that that was a part of it. Book recs for someone freshly free from DV. Oh my goodness, I would need to go in my room and bring them out because I have a lot. I have a lot. Um, and I can't think of any right now. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't think of any right now. Maybe I can try to post some later. Yeah, functioning alcoholic, alcohol dependency. I don't know. And I don't know if I can pull up coursework. Anyway, yeah, someone who's basically, drinking every night after work, drinking several glasses of wine or like, bourbon or whatever, would drink and smoke marijuana fairly often. Marijuana was less, but it was like they did need a substance to like be alive at night. Um, but I wouldn't say they were like, again, like full blown alcoholic where like, they're waking like I saw a guy the other day that was like warning people about drinking so much. And he was like, I have 4 shots of vodka in my coffee this morning to start my day. Like, y'all, because I never stopped drinking 20 years ago. I've been drinking every day for 20 years. Like, that's not what it was. But yeah, definitely like some stuff going on there. What she said will help a lot, but it depends on what helps her. Just talk to her. Yeah, I mean, it's hard not knowing, what's going on for her. How do I stop thinking about him doing it to someone new? Sorry, I need therapy and I'm on a 2-month wait list. Therapy is hard. Therapy is hard. It's hard to get into it and you have to have the right person. So even if I'm not trying to discourage you, but even if you get in with a therapist, it has to be someone who's going to understand what you need right now. And that is really, really hard. So I just want to acknowledge that. How do I stop thinking about him doing that to someone new? That crosses my mind. I'm a year single and October, I'm about a month away from being 1 year no contact. I need to plan something fun. I think for me, I had to, and we're all different, so this might not work for you. I just had to realize that there's nothing that I can do about it. Unless I was publicly saying my abuser's name, having like had like their like videos of them abusing me and all this content of like them abusing me, and it was like on TV and everyone saw it so that everyone knew what they looked like and everyone knew who they were. I can't do anything about it. I can't reach out to that person. I don't even know who my abuser talks to because I don't have contact with them. So I can't help anybody. Even the girl who I knew was being pursued, y'all don't know how many nights I stayed up saying I should call her husband and warn him, even though I don't think he can help because it's too late. Once that person makes their move, it's too late. That relationship is over. I so desperately, I like couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat because I was like, this young girl, innocent, probably a wonderful person who's got just the right amount of heart ouchies or the right kind of heart ouchies that this person sees and wants to make this move. I could protect her. If I could just get in touch with her, if I could just have a conversation with her, if I could just tell her it's too late, she already thinks I'm crazy. She already thinks that I'm the crazy ex and I'm a liar and I'm doing a smear campaign and all of this stuff. So even if I walked into her at freaking Target and was like, hey, you, please be careful. Please, this is what happened to me. This is what happened to my son. This is what happened. Please, 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 please. I couldn't save her. And you have to know that. You have to know that, because by the time an abusive person makes a move on that person has already been told that you're crazy. So you cannot help them. I have heard some people say that it helps, but like, that's what you have to tell yourself. Like I have heard some people be like, oh, I was warned by someone and I was able to like, yeah, but then you think, would you have listened back then? Exactly. Because I was able to get in touch with an ex of my abuser, and we talked and talked and talked. And she would say, I'm so sorry. I thought about reaching out to you. I wanted to warn you, but I didn't think you would listen to me. And I said, I wouldn't have listened to you. And you have to know that too. Like, that person isn't ready to hear it because they've already been love bombed and they already think this is their soulmate. And so, yeah, you just have to know that like 99% not likely to work if you could help. I'm going to the hospital tomorrow. She's heavily medicated right now. She's 71 and looks 100. Yeah, trauma is a horrible thing and it wears you out and it sucks the life out of you. And I'm really sorry that that's where she's at right now, and that you are being affected by this as well, and that you probably feel helpless. I'm really sorry about that. Abusers from their victims, but also their community too. Did I miss something? Oh, do you know you have to ask for a protection order? Police cannot suggest it. I think that was out of order and I don't fully understand what it says there. Oh my goodness. I just missed so many. Yep, she's trauma bonded to my mom and her husband. I'm scared she's going to die from this. Oh my goodness. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. That's really scary. Police, oh my goodness. Why is this out of order? Do you know that you have to ask for protection order? Police cannot suggest. Police suggesting protection order to remove abuser from the situation is considered legal advice. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for sharing that. Why does he do that? Yes, that's a really good one. I feel like I just want to take my aunt to the ocean. If you can, do it. Why can't I just leave the verbally abusive relationship? Quick read. The gift of fear. My aunt is trauma bonded to her addict husband and my narcissist mom, her sister. Okay, I misunderstood that the first time. Now that makes more sense. I'm so glad you're alive. I found you last night on my free page. Oh, welcome. Thank you. I just left my husband of 20 years. Now I've had enough of the abuse. I'm so proud of you. My mom's that way. I guess I had to break it off with my first therapist because he jumped right into EMDR full swing and it was chaotic and just made it worse. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like trash therapists, but I did not have good experiences with therapists, and now I will only use trauma recovery coaches from the association that I'm getting my certification through. And I've said this before, but like we did like practice coaching triads. I talked about it a lot when I was in it. So there were like 3 of us and we would take turns coaching each other and giving feedback. We did it, I think 6 sessions, and they were only, they might have been 30 minutes. I got more out of those 6 sessions with a practicing coach who's not certified yet, but will be very soon, than I did in like a year and a half of individual and couples therapy. It's in your bio? Yes, all my links are in my bio. I have all my like other social media links. I have my website where you can book coaching. And my Greece trip for next year. I had my first person book for the Greece trip. I'm hosting a trip for survivors and queer folks because I really want to offer both of those groups that I am so passionate about a safe way to travel. And it is kind of far off in the future, at least in my mind, because I wish I was traveling like once a month to a really cool place with y'all. But all of that is on there. So just go snoop around my links on my Beacons bio and see what you come to, and let me know if you have any questions. But yeah, but you've listened. Okay. I can say it took me many years to finally speak up, and especially lesbian relationships, because people tend to be like, well, why didn't you fight back or hit? Oh my gosh, luckily no one ever said that to me, because that just blows my mind. Like I will fight for my life if I'm being like attacked by a stranger. But I'm not going to fight someone who's like fighting me in a relationship, because I don't see that that would actually help. Like if I fight you back, I just can't wrap my mind around it. I can't. Um I can't wrap my head around that, because just like men in hetero relationships say real men don't hit a woman like this. Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm glad. Okay, I should have just kept reading, because like I just like the logic isn't there. I don't know. It's the empty promises to change that get me. Do they ever really change? If it's a narcissist, no. Okay, I mean, Ben Taylor and Lee Hammock are self-aware narcissists, and they're in therapy, and they've been in therapy, and they're going to be in therapy forever. And it sounds like their relationships are going okay, because they're doing all this work, and their partners are doing work to understand it, so that they have coping skills to deal with it when the narcissist does something, and they can be like, hey, you're trying to love bomb me right now, and I don't like it. Like, this is how we should be doing things. But like, I wouldn't want to stick around for that. I wouldn't want to stick around hoping. I mean, I did do that. But no, I can't watch those videos. Which ones? Is there any way I can help her? I'm going to talk to her. Just tell her that you're there for her. And again, I don't know her, so I can't really give the best advice. But ask her what's hurting her. And I don't know if she'll answer you, but like ask her, say, what can I do to help you? What do you need? The self-aware narcissist. Yeah, it's a pretty controversial topic. Some people love them, and some people are like, this is disgusting. I hate it. So I respect your opinion for sure. I can't stand when people say that you're with the woman, so just hit her. No, I would never hit my partner. I don't care what gender they are. Like, I'm not going to hit them. Even if they hit me, I'm not going to hit them back. I'm going to try to de-escalate it. And yeah, I could never, like, again, like if it's a stranger and they're trying to hurt me or hurt my kid, I will protect myself and my child, but I cannot, like, I don't think I could live myself if I knew that I like physically caused someone harm. I have enough, like, if I think about like when I broke up with like my sweet boyfriend like 12 years ago or whatever it was, like, just because like I was done with the relationship, I can do it. Like, I still feel bad. I'm like, I hurt him bad. And he didn't tell me until like 5 years later, when I caught up with him after he broke up with another girlfriend, like how bad he was. Like, he never told me how sad he was and how he like went off the deep end. And I like, that makes me sad. And when I cry sometimes when I think about like how I ended my relationship with my husband, and I am a lesbian. So like that wasn't gonna keep going. Like, once I had this knowledge in front of me, I couldn't have stayed with him, but I still cry sometimes, because I'm like, did I hurt him? Did I somehow hurt my son? Like, I don't like emotionally hurting people. I can't imagine like being like, well, you know, they hit me, so like I just had to knock them out. Like, that would hurt me so bad. I don't understand that. How could they be self-aware? I thought they had no ability to look inwards. That is a question for them. I will try my best to answer. Narcissists can't change. It's not possible. The real them left a long time ago from trauma they had. They aren't there anymore. Yeah, well, I think they're there, but I think they're like this big, and they're in this like massive fortification. Like, think like the bunkers that Hitler stayed in like the Alps, like heavily protected. Like, no one's getting in there without permission, which is no one. Um, and they're yeah, heavily protected. Like, it's just so much defense mechanism, but like it's happened since they were really little, so they're not even aware of it. How could they be self-aware? Because they were diagnosed and they actually took it seriously. For like, I think it was Lee Hammock who said like he hit rock bottom. Like, maybe if they like lose all supply, or they're about to lose their supply, and they're like whatever, and they get diagnosed and they decide to actually learn about it. Because narcissists have the ability to learn about things. They can go to school, they can get a degree in engineering, they can get a degree in like whatever. So basically, they decided to read about narcissism, to learn about narcissism, to do all that stuff, and then to say, hey, this is when I do this, it's because of this. Which I do agree with you. It's really hard. I did a live with Ben Taylor, and I'm going to meet both of them in Austin, Texas, because they're both going to be there. And I am nervous about it. I am nervous about meeting them in person. Not because I think that they're going to harm me, but I think that like hearing them talk, it triggers me. And I did do a live with Ben Taylor, and he would say things, and I would like visibly react to some of the things that he was saying. Cause like when he described it, I'm like, this is painful to hear because this is what was done to me. And so I've seen that one African American guy, I don't know his name. That's Lee Hammock. That's mental illness. But yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of people don't like their content because, like, for me, and I told Ben this in the live, like, he was talking about this, and I said, as a survivor, this is really hard because survivors want their partner to become self-aware. They want their partner to see it, to change, to pass on, like, to say, like, okay, I'm doing this because I'm a narcissist, and it doesn't happen. And it's hard. It's hard. It's really painful. And yeah, several times throughout that live, I think we were live for like an hour and 15 minutes, and he would be talking, and I was like, and he'd be like, I know. I'm like, you're triggering me. I just wonder if they're trying to manipulate me. The narcissists, I mean, they have no stake in manipulating you specifically. So just keep that in mind. Do they make money off of making content? Yeah. I don't. I wish I did a little bit because I put a lot of work in. And why helped me, who's not a narcissist, Lisa Sunny from Stronger Than Before. She's one of the two who like really helped me get out. Oh no, I lost my connection. Okay, I think my internet's trying to tell me to go to bed because I lost my connection, but let me see if I can answer the rest of these. I can honestly say I had a friend who went through a lot of trauma and went through therapy, and what's crazy is they are a complete narcissist and will literally use their therapy to justify their behavior and turn what they've learned around on to seem like the narcissist. It's total mindfuck, sorry, but it is. No, it is. Yeah, they can do that. They can do that. That's why I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of you all. I don't trust anybody. And it's really hard because as a survivor, like I'm seeing a lot of people on social media, like sharing things about their exes now too. And I want to be like, yes, this is awesome. I'm really proud of you. But there's something off about the way that they're sharing or the way that they're, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say anymore, but it's scary and it's hard to, I mean, like for me, it's like, well, these two narcissists are saying, I am a narcissist. So I believe you. Whatever you're going to say, I may or may not consume it, but like you're giving this disclaimer that you're a narcissist versus like, I don't know. I thank you for trusting me because to be honest, it is really hard to know what's real. Hopefully I don't give off narcissist vibes. A lot of people, especially on Facebook right now, are saying that I'm a narcissist. I've gotten that from the very beginning. They're like, well, if you're talking about your ex, you're a narcissist. Hopefully you guys aren't getting those vibes from me, but I wouldn't blame you if you thought that, because again, it's really hard to know who to trust. It's so frustrating when they shut down. It is. It's painful. Imitating intellectual empathy with behavior versus feeling emotional empathy, the self-aware narcissist. Yes, exactly. Thanks for the advice. You're welcome. Yes. Okay. I just watched House of Hammer and was so triggered it's hard to see it. I have not heard that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, my internet is telling me that it's time to go to bed. And I hung out a little bit longer than I thought I was because I really need to get to bed early tonight. It's still only 10:15. I'm fine. I'm an adult. I don't need 14 hours of sleep. 7, 8, we're good. But yeah, thank you so much again for trusting me, for hanging out with me, for giving me your time and your feelings and your support, all the things. I'm so grateful for, again, this platform that you've given me and for your trust and everything. And I will try to be back in a reasonable time frame. I can't make any promises, but thank you all. Take care, drink some water, get some sleep. And there's always a vibe when it comes to things like this. Yes, before I wrap this up, I will say this, but yes, it is hard to tell a vibe. I think that when people go live a lot and you can see them live, you can be like, yeah, there's something off about this person, or you can be like, okay, this person seems safe. But there's a lot of creators who don't go live, and you never see them interacting with people. You never see them interacting with like the people around them. And for me, that makes it harder to trust them. Like when I see, I think that's one of the things that made me like, okay, you know, like with Lee Hammock and Ben Taylor, is because like they'll answer something and it's so narcissistic. And they're like, I am a narcissist, y'all. And I'm like, okay, this is real. This is really happening. Like, because they're live and they're reacting and you're seeing what they're really like versus people who are like, everything is, you know, it's a recorded video. They're not, it's all like, what is it, like lip syncing, and you don't ever get any access to like who they really are. That's when I'm like, I don't think I want to, I don't know what this, like, it's hard to trust, and that's fair. I mean this as in you're a good vibe. Oh, thank you so much. I do appreciate that so many of you trust me. It means a lot to me. Like I can't even tell you. Sorry I missed you. Hopefully I can catch you next time. Maybe if I can get the kiddo down early enough tomorrow, I'll come back tomorrow night. It would be wonderful to see you all again and hang out some more. So again, thank you for your time. Take care.